Trinice. Trinice, say hello to the people.
How you guys doing?
And we have our Vice President of Operations. We have James Henderson here as well.
Good
And,
afternoon.
and we have a special guest with us today. Today we have I'm sorry, y'all. Newly appointed Colonel Atkins of the Cobb County Sheriff's Office. Let's give it up for him.
Give it up.
He came out. We've been building our conversation dialogue with other representatives in our community about policing, and he's here to kind of talk to us about policing, some of the things that the Sheriff's Department is currently doing, some of the things that they want to change, and some of the things that we can do as a community to help. So you guys, let's just give it up for him as we come forward and we ask a few questions today. So first off, Colonel, how does it feel to be here today, man?
Oh, it feels great. Under the leadership of Sheriff Owens, this is exactly where we want to be. We want to be dialoguing with the community, making sure that we're engaging with everyone and letting them know that, we're not trying to bridge a gap. We're going to be that bridge that comes all the way to you and just allows you to walk across. So, yes, it's great to be here today.
Absolutely.
No, thank you for being here. So, one of the things that we want to talk about, I think we had this conversation over the phone, is talking about just the changes that we've seen. One of the things that happened really big this week in Cobb County is 287G. 287G got struck down. You want to tell the people more about 287G, what it's done, and the impact it had on the community and how it's going to impact the community now?
Well, what 287G was a program in which the federal government basically ran that deported illegal aliens. Okay, Sheriff Owens' perspective was always that he wanted to make sure that the community would come out and dialogue with the police so that we could be of service. But when you have a program such as that, it makes people apprehensive to come out and talk to you.
Right.
So when he was elected sheriff, he vowed that he would not follow under that program so that the community could feel comfortable talking to the sheriff's office. So that's what we're about. We're about people coming out and talking to us because we can't serve you if we can't hear from you. So that's why he felt it important to strike that down. Some people ask why he didn't just come in the first day and do that. It was because Sheriff Owens is a methodical type of guy. So what he wanted to do is come in and evaluate where it was and to make sure legally we could dismantle it in the manner that it should have been done.
Absolutely. And one of the things that it did make a huge impact on our community, I think we was talking to DA Brody the other day, and he was talking about the impact that it made definitely on the Hispanic community. Trinice, what is it that you want to talk to Colonel about today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as a member of the community, I think that it's important to try to, as you said, you wanted to bring the gap to the community. In which ways are you guys working to get that gap kind of filled?
Okay, first of all, let's start with the people that we already have in custody.
Absolutely.
Okay, what we're going to try to do is develop programs that allow them to be in a better position after they leave our facility than when they came in so that they don't return.
Absolutely.
Secondly of all, what we want to do is recruit that is reflective of the community. I'm just going to put it all out there right now and say, I tried to recruit you when I came. So we want, we want everybody.
Absolutely.
I was talking to one of the recruiters, prior to coming here today, and he's saying that he's at the barbershop, he's everywhere, he's at the hairdressers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go out there and make sure the sheriff's office reflects the community. So
Absolutely.
Look out for us and then just come aboard.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a big thing, man. I think that a lot of times we complain too much about when we look at policing and we look at officers that they don't reflect the community. And we have to do our part. I mean, I think that's what you're hitting on now. We have to do our part. Definitely, we have opportunities and jobs are available there. And you said Cobb County's hiring big time right now, right?
Well, we have over 70 positions that are opened at this time. And, I know everyone isn't saying that they want to be a deputy sheriff, but we have civilian positions as well. So you can always go to our website, and if not find on our website specifically, you can go to the Cobb County government website because it's like a dual scenario. We have our job listings on our website. The Cobb County government have our job listings on their website. So if you go to either one of those locations, you can see what we're offering and how we want you to come in. We've got jobs available, and we just want good people.
Yeah. And let me ask you a question. Why do you think that the community has the outlook they have about police and about police officers and the job they do?
Well, I can't speak for anyone else. I can only speak for myself when I talk to that matter. And what I would say is just the distance. Oftentimes people feel they have to distance, but Sheriff Owens believes that we can all coexist with one another and just make a strong coalition. So what we're trying to do is just make sure we make our guys, looking a little bit friendlier and just getting out there and involving and engaging. Like right now, you just have people that are saying, oh, this is all bad, this is all bad. But when you have people that look like you, speak like you and they act like you,
Right.
then it's just impossible to, be separate. And that's kind of how we're trying to do that. And oftentimes, sometimes, we don't look alike. And I think that's some of our own fault because people don't think about law enforcement as a viable option.
Right.
So once we start to do things like that and start to consider that law enforcement is not this monster, this evil thing that's out on the other side, but it's actually those group of men and women that are there to support you, I think it's just going to be a better scenario.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, man. I'm one of those kind of people who believe, the system there may be some flaws in the system. We all know that, right? We can look at situations like George Floyd. We can look at other situations like that. But at the same time, that's 2% of the police officers who serve our community. And one of the things I know we had a real live conversation too about that, that we have to be able to hold both parties accountable when they're wrong. But so you, from what I understand, you sit over the jail too. You're over the Cobb County Jail. That's one of the things that you oversee.
No, that's not one of the things I oversee. That is the thing that I oversee. The over 1,400 inmates in the Cobb County Jail are under my care at the direction of Sheriff Owens. So if one thing's wrong with one of them, then I'm accountable for that, with Sheriff Owens behind me. So what I'm always doing is trying to make sure that each man and woman inside of that facility is being taken care of to the best of our ability. And it's a daunting task. It's a 24-hour-a-day task, 7 days a week task. I was actually there prior to coming to here. My schedule is Monday through Friday, but my job is 7 days a week, 24
Right.
hours a day. So that is my sole responsibility. Those men and women that are incarcerated, as well as the over 300 employees that work within that facility.
Wow, 300 employees that work there and 1,400 inmates.
Correct.
That's crazy. And I mean, I know that's a huge task. I know recently they've made a lot of adjustments inside the county jail to make it more feasible and to make sure that they're doing better about taking care of people in which they serve. And that, once again, I think that's just really important. And it's awesome that you take the time out to be there on Saturday on your day off, because most of us don't even much want to show up on our day off on Saturday, man. It's over for us, ain't it? James?
Yeah, I just wanted to backtrack a little bit about why the general public is so apprehensive to dealing with law enforcement. But history has shown us why the reason is, because of the abuse that had come at the hands of law enforcement to people of color over the decades, that it has been ingrained in us to be fearful, even though the officer may look like us. So I guess with that, what more can we do to I guess it's just more community relations and more smiles.
Well, I wouldn't say just more community relations. Like I said, once you have a community, well, a department or an office that is of the community, then you have a situation where it's going to be more responsive to the community. Anytime you have an outsider governing you, it's not going to be the same. Mm-hmm. So what we want is, we want people that are as vocal about what's wrong to be on the inside, so they can not just use the ability to vocalize it, but the ability to actually do something from the inside.
Yes.
So that what I say is, I employ anyone that wants a job and wants to make a difference and wants it to look differently, not just from a physical standpoint, but also from a mental standpoint, to come join the team.
Yes. Awesome. Amen.
And then the bigger thing to that is I'm not going to do this job forever. So that man or woman that you think has the right mental perspective for the job, then one day they're the colonel. And then the philosophies of the department can be dictated down by them.
Is there something in place currently for the mental capacity of those who are coming into law enforcement set in place?
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, a testing of, or some sort of test that, will judge or give you a general idea of the potential officers.
I think I know where you're going with it. And I'll say this. Every law enforcement agency requires a psychological background.
There you go.
That's pretty much standard throughout the industry. That's an industry standard. But like I said, what's more important to me than a psychological background, not saying that it's not important, but it's the philosophy of the person that leads the organization.
Right.
So
I
Sheriff
agree.
Orange has a philosophy of community-oriented policing. He has a philosophy of everything being equal or balanced. So once you have that at the top, and you have a strong leader at the top, it pushes down.
It trickles
And
down.
that's why I'm here today, is he saw a reflection of me in him and all
Right.
the values that he's bringing to the table. And he's saying, I push that down to Colonel Atkins. Colonel Atkins, I need you to push that down to your lieutenant colonels, your captain, your sergeants, your lieutenants, and then down to the deputies. And then you see a change in the street when those guys and girls are going out there and interacting with the public.
Yes.
And that's
Awesome.
important. I
Thank
think
you.
that's really important. We actually just had somebody call in. His name is Ricky Brown. Ricky Brown, just to give you guys a little bit of an update on Ricky Brown. Ricky Brown used to work for Congressman Kwanzaa Hall. He was actually his criminal justice reform liaison.
Yes.
Ricky, can you hear us? He got a call back? Okay, well, he's going to be coming back to us. I'll let him know to call back. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. No, so I mean, one of the things I think that we hear from you today is that that Cobb County Sheriff's Department is different than it was in December 31st, right? And we understand that, and I'm one of those people too. I'll be honest. I voted for Sheriff Owens, right, because of the fact that we believed in the impact that he was having, and we really just appreciate the fact, because what we're trying to do, I think this whole program, this whole show is about, is holding those accountable who we elect, right? Because we elect people, people got out and voted. We need to be able to hold them accountable. And at the same time as that, we should be able to hold them accountable. At the same time, there should be certain things that the Cobb County needs from the community, right? Can you tell us about some of those things besides, hiring? What are some of those things that Cobb County seeks from the community? Like, I remember you used the term so perfectly, like, we ain't got to build the bridge to come to you. You're going to build the bridge to us. All we got to do is just come on board with the bridge.
Okay, basically what Sheriff Owens is saying is do exactly what you guys did. You called, he said, Colonel, you need to be talking to these people. So that's bringing the bridge to you. And the walking over is you said, Colonel Atkins, come here Saturday, and I came.
Absolutely.
So this is what's going to be happening going forward. When the community says, we need you to address this, or we'd like you to take a look at this, you're not just going to get lip service. You're going to get action. And it's going to be just like this. And I had a conversation with all the inmates at the jail because we just reinstituted our visitation. And I'll just be frank with you. We hadn't had visitation because of COVID.
Right.
So when Sheriff Owens came on board, he said, Colonel, I need you to start back visitation. And it was like, this had to be about January the 7th or so. And I said, Sheriff, I'll get it started back February 1st. He said, no, blank, you won't. It'll start back next week. So now you can visit at the Cobb County Sheriff's Office again. Because he said, those guys and girls have been in our custody and they've been separated from their families, without being able to physically see them. And that takes a mental toll.
Absolutely.
So he wanted to stop that in his track, and he wasn't waiting for that to happen. He was telling me, I got to make that happen now. So that's what we're going to be about, is identifying those things that need to happen. And it's not going to be something that's going to happen overnight, but what we guarantee is that it'll be as fast as it can reasonably be. His phrase is truth, trust, and transparency. So in that, what I'd like the public to get, and anybody that deals with this, to understand that we're not going to get everything right.
Give me 1 second, boss. Go ahead.
But when we do it, we're going to do it with the best spirit in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing that people got to understand too. I think that one of the things that we have to always remember is that everybody who sit on the other side of that bar is not always guilty of the crimes in which they sit on the bar from. Your job is to protect them. Your job is to keep them. It's not your choice whether or not they can get out or not. And that's something that we've been working on with D.A. Brody. Like I was saying, I think earlier we had we were going to invite Ricky Brown on. Ricky Brown was the criminal justice liaisons for Congressman Kwanzaa Hall,
Absolutely.
who actually replaced John Lewis. He was in John Lewis's seat recently until Nakima came. Mr. Brown, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
We can hear you fine, man. I wanted to have you on today because I think that something that's so interesting about you is your story. We just had Colonel Atkins here from Cobb County Sheriff's Office talking about the different things they're doing, but I love your story. I love your journey And once again, you're one of those people who was on the other side of that bar, who was hosted in one of these jails before. And you came out and you did a different thing in your life. And just kind of tell us your story a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Ricky Brown. I'm just a regular guy, man, that got caught up in the system back from the war on drugs back in the early 90s and served 13 years in federal prison. Came home, just couldn't get a job, so God gave me a vision, create your own job. So I started a staffing agency here in Atlanta to assist people like myself who come home and who have obstacles, trying to find a job, trying to find housing. There's just a lot of obstacles come our way once we release from prison. So I came at it another way. I want to show that we're not going to allow our past to determine our future, and I was determined to do that. And starting this staffing agency sort of took a life of its own, and we're proud to say that we've been able to assist a lot of people like me because, I'm an ex-offender. I served 13 years. I know what we feel. I know what we think. I know why we do what we do. So, and I want to take what I've learned and be able to help others like me. And so it's been a journey. I even ran for city council. I want to show people there's no limits what you can do if you actually get a second chance. I ran for city council in the District 3 last year and the year before that. So, I just want to, come out and show people something different. First time I got kicked off the ballot because I was an ex-offender according to the system. So I was not able to run. But I was able to go and get my rights restored, getting a full pardon, and being able to get back on the ballot. So it's all about persistence, to getting out here and showing that you want to be a productive member of society. And Congressman Conza Hall saw what the work that we've done. I've been working with him for many years with Bandbox and things like that. And he decided to hire me as a criminal justice reform coordinator for the U.S. Congress, and it was very rewarding to get that position from him. A lot of people don't get that opportunity, but I want to take that opportunity to be able to show people that there is no limits if you actually get that second chance. So we're proud of some of the things we've done, man, and if anybody want to look us up, our website is nextstepstaff.com. You can kind of look at some of the work we've done. You can Google Ricky Brown Atlanta. It kind of will show some of the work we've done, man. But we just want to continue to do what we're doing. Want to continue to let people realize that we are somebody's child. We are humans. We come home. We deserve a second chance. So we're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to helping more people like myself. So I'm looking forward to working with people like you guys and the group that you're working with, and showing what criminal justice reform really, really looks like. There's more Rickies out there. There's more Rickies coming home from the criminal justice system. If we just give them that opportunity. So I'm Ricky Brown, man, and I'm just going to continue to do what I do.
Nah, man, that's so amazing. And I think that kind of ties into what we've been talking about, even with Colonel Atkins, people who are currently locked up, is how do we get them to a place where they know how to come back out and they know how to kind of rehabilitate themselves. And I think that's amazing because Colonel Atkins was just mentioning how they're changing up programs and giving them programs in there. Because some of those people think about it like this, in our reality for everybody out there, some of those people come out of there, they spend months and months in there. And now we know the system is a little bit slower. They can't afford a bond. They spend a year in there. And they end up not guilty, right? And then when they come back out, they look at a world now where it looks different to them. It feels different to them. And I think it's good to have people out there like Ricky Brown who can tell the story that, hey, you know what? Not only can you come out, you can work for a congressman. And man, like, come on, like that's a big deal. That's a huge deal that you're able to do that. And we just appreciate you. While we have Colonel Atkins on the phone from Cobb County Sheriff's Department, any questions you have for him, Mr. Brown?
No, I don't, man. I just want to, and just want to thank everybody that's on this call. I don't really know who exactly is on this call, but, I just want to thank everybody that realized that we've come a long way, and criminal justice reform is in play. And, you have men like myself, if you know somebody that's coming home give them that hands up, man, and try and give them an opportunity to be productive members of society. We can't save everybody, but those that really want to be productive members of society, we need to help them do that. And I think everybody that's on this call, that's about criminal justice reform. I mean, it's a new day in this country, and I'm looking forward to a new day in the criminal justice reform system.
Yeah, man, and not only is it a new day in the country, I think it's just a new day, and from the local government perspective as well, man. Because in Cobb County, we didn't just get Sheriff Craig Owens; we got a new chair. Lisa Cupid now sits over the chair of Cobb County. We've got a lot of different things that are going on in Cobb County, and I think that it's just a good move, and I think we're going in the right direction, even from the perspective of the sheriff's department. And even Cobb County Police, the things they're trying to do, they started the POWER program. We know that COVID has been hitting us and affecting us on the things that we can do, but we want to be able to partner with local government, I think, more so than anything, because if we can make the change on the local level.
Right. That's exactly right. We definitely need to do more of that. I work with the Cobb County and Rice Street Jail. I go in and I speak to a lot of the men that are coming out of that system. And we just try to encourage them. And the Cobb County is an area that I love. And so if anything we could do in the Cobb County Sheriff's Department, we can go in and speak to the men and women in there and just to show them that there is hope. And it's all about giving people hope, man. And we're excited about that.
Man, well, you got the man of hope, Colonel Atkins here. He already I'm telling you, it's crazy how God works, man. Before you even got on the phone call, he was talking about that and how some of the programs they're doing there on that level. And maybe even we can connect, get your information over to Cobb County Sheriff's Department so they can give it to inmates who are looking for jobs when they come out with your staffing agency. You just never know.
Well, that's we I just got finishing up a job now. We had to adjust our business model. We started a fog and disinfectant service, and we go out. We dressed out from foot to toe in our gear, and we're going out and we're spraying nursing homes and disinfecting those places, man, and doing our part to protect and serve against COVID-19. And we're going to be hiring a lot of people, fog boys and fog girls, to go in and spray these places and wipe these places down and get it clean and just do our part in the community when it comes to COVID-19. So I hope we can come over to Cobb County Jail and spray the jail down.
And while we're even thinking about COVID, that is a good question, Colonel Atkins. What are some of the things that you guys are doing in the jail to make sure that you guys are protecting the inmates that you guys who are housed there from COVID, as well as your employees? Because that's a big deal as well. I mean, there was a big article recently about the National Guards that went to D.C. to protect the inauguration, how some of them were busting out with COVID. You know what I mean? That is very important, and I think to the community, definitely. I'll give you guys a true story. I'm one of the first people they've ever found that actually caught COVID twice. My first time catching COVID, I couldn't identify where it came from. Second time I was in having surgery, and basically I caught it from one of the nurses who was in the hospital. So I mean, I wasn't going nowhere. Basically, I was in there for almost 14 weeks. I spent about 3 days on a ventilator, literally, once I caught COVID because I had pneumonia and I had some other stuff going on as well. So what are some of the things that the Cobb County Sheriff's Department is doing?
Okay, that's a great question. And Sheriff Owens' 100-day plan, first 100-day plan, at the top of that initiative was how we're going to attack the COVID-19 virus. What we've done is we set up a scenario where if any inmate has a high temperature, we have an area where we can segregate them into that area. Then they're subsequently tested. And if they come back positive, we have then another layer where we put the positive, and then we're monitoring them with our medical staff constantly. As far as our employees we are just now getting technology where we don't have to manually take your temperature, but that'll be scanned once you enter into the building. And it alerts us anyone that's over the stated rate that we won't allow. We're putting that at the back doors as well. So when the officer as well as the new arrestee comes in, their temperature is being checked as well. So we're not bringing someone in that's been affected. We also now, just last week, are able to do rapid tests. I'll be honest with you, when people came for a while, everybody said, I've been around somebody with COVID. I can't come here. And there was really no way for us to differentiate because we were inundating the hospitals by requiring the officers to have to take that person to the hospital to be tested.
Oh, wow.
Now we're able to do the rapid test at our intake area so that we can ascertain whether or not that person is telling us that. And if we still have to take them, we can deal with them appropriately. So those are a few things. I still remember Sheriff Owens wasn't allowed to kind of get started early in the transition, But on the 31st of December at 12:30, he came in. Now, what he did do was he gave me a call about 4 hours before that. He said, I want you to put sanitization station throughout that building. So we've now put sanitation stations where you can do the hand sanitizers all throughout the building for the employees as they're navigating from area to area. So he's been adamant about making sure that we can protect the public, we can also protect the inmates, and we can protect our employees. When we reinstituted our visitation on January the 19th, we had to reduce the number of people that could come so that we didn't have an exposure, mass exposure scenario, as well as we do a sanitation of the area after each visit. The visit will start on the top of the hour, approximately 30 minutes for the visit. The second part of the hour, we're sanitizing, getting ready for the next group to come in. We also requested that the visitors, we would limit the visit to 2. You used to have 4 people that could visit at a time, but we cut that back to 2 just to not have so many people coming through the facility. We also asked the public to maintain, to stay in their vehicles until 5 minutes prior to the visit.
Right.
That way they weren't just sitting in there, in a group together.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome, the fact that, because there's some counties that still not even allowing visitation. And for Sheriff Owens to be willing to be so adamant about it,
Yes.
that's important because, like you stated, man, it is important to be able to see your family. It is important to see the ones that you love. Trinice.
Yes. So I think that going back to like the disconnect, if we will, I think that one of the biggest reasons for the disconnect was for the community to see certain atrocities and then to see certain policing boards or certain members of our government kind of be so aloof and act like it didn't happen per se, or act like there is not a problem there. But to see you guys actually want to attack the problem and try to, alleviate some of the tension that maybe there, or alleviate some of the problems that the community feels, it speaks volumes. And I just want to commend you and Sheriff Owens, on you guys' duties and efforts there. And I think that should for you guys to do that. I hope other sheriff departments, and you guys lead by example, other sheriff departments kind of try to take up the same thing as well.
Well, what I would say to that is, I don't want to sit here and try to tell the public that we've come in on some white horse or anything.
Yeah.
But what I want to say is, we made a statement of what our intentions are.
Right.
What's going to be the real test is when we have to defend that, we defend that appropriately. And we're hoping that day never comes. But just from knowing Sheriff Owens, when that day comes, he's going to stick to his guns and do the right thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and once again, I think that's just important to the community. At this, we're getting ready to transition, but we just wanted to allow you again to put out the information about how people can go online, how they can apply, because I think that's really important too, to have those 70 positions. Once again, if you don't complain about it, if you don't want to help make a change about it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if they're offering, and then the county's coming to you and saying, hey, if you got a clean background and you're able to work, we need you. We need your support in the community. And for all those on unemployment, come on, man, let's jump off unemployment, get on the train, or get a job, man, get a job. So the Cobb County Sheriff's Department is offering, and we want you to leave us with that information as well.
Okay, basically what I would say is you can go on the internet to cobbcountysheriffs.org. If you don't see any of our openings posted there, you can go to cobbcountygovernment.org and go into the sheriff's office. And don't just limit yourself to saying, I don't want to be the deputy sheriff or the police. We have civilian jobs as well. We need help, we want help, and we want you. So just go on there, and like you said before, if you got a clean background and you want to work, we want you.
Absolutely. And like I said, we'll be holding the conversation next week with Sheriff Owens himself on Zoom. So I'm looking forward to that. Mr. Brown, I want you to leave some information out there for the public. So if they didn't want to get a hold of you, I may need that temp job. I mean, I may have to go strap up and we go clean Cobb County Jail. Go spray it down, man. He's still with us, Mr. Brown? Nah, I think he's left us. He hung up. That's cool. But once again, y'all, we on behalf of Black Push and on behalf of everything that we're trying to do, we really do appreciate Cobb County Sheriff's Department for everything that you guys have done.
Absolutely.
Everything that you guys are doing. And I want you guys to know, like, even if you are used to the way it used to be, I'm telling you, from my personal experience, I stay in Cobb County. I've been in Cobb County almost 7 years. I vote in Cobb County. I live in Cobb County. There is a change, and we have to we have to give them opportunity to make that change. So we want to once again give it up to newly elected Colonel, okay, Colonel Atkins, for coming out today, and we thank him for coming out. And we just want to just appreciate this once again, say thank you to everybody who watched this segment. We'll be back in 5 minutes, you guys, when we come back with our segment about Black businesses. Thank you again.
Hey, no problem.
Huh? Okay.
Hey y'all, so we're back. We're back for segment 2 of our conversation today. And today we want to just switch from Black Push to Newbie Corp and talk about Black business ownership. Talk about Black business ownership in the time of COVID. So today we have 2 awesome people. So James is with us again because not only is he my partner with Black Push, but James owns his own business called Kingdom Coffee, and he got some of his pecans. Said we may have to bust one of them open for a snack. I think everybody in the room a little hungry today, so we may need a snack. And then we have the one and only, but all this Tampa Bay gear on. I don't know what's going on. Bishop Ramon Belton, who is the senior pastor of Reuniting Christ Family Worship Center, but he owns one of the top, or him and his family owns one of the top 5 restaurants, or top soul food restaurants in the metro Atlanta area. And that's over 200 and some soul food restaurants, and they're ranked number 5. And that's Willie B's Sisters over in Mableton, Georgia, just relocated to the new location. How is the new location going, Pastor Ramon?
Woo, yes, it's been a blessing. It was a challenge in the beginning, of course. We just expanded, of course. And so with the expansion already was put in place since 2019, and not knowing we was coming against a pandemic and COVID-19 at this time. But, you know, God had it all mapped out, I truly believe. And because we was blessed with already closing the end of March and expanding into a bigger building. So that allowed us an opportunity to not have to lose money going into a bigger location. And so then also the owner of the property blessed us where we have to pay while we renovated. So that blessed us in 2 ways. And so now coming into the new year, 2021, of course, we had to adjust. We minimized our days down to the busiest days, which is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And, you know, God has truly been good. I just left there not long ago, and it ain't missed a beat. And yesterday was so busy, I had to go sit down. I was tired of watching customers walk in and out, just watching all that food.
Yeah, so we had, one of the things I've been a customer of that restaurant forever. It's been like 7 years. I remember back in the day when you guys were over there off South Gordon,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And now you guys have a food truck too, don't you? How's the food truck?
Oh man, that's a whole nother story. That food truck is a blessing in so many ways. We've had it for about 3 or 4 years now, and God blessed us with it. We was blessed to do the Super Bowl when it was here in Atlanta 2-3 years ago, and then also we do all the big events around the world. We've been blessed to do, and also we was able to bless people during the pandemic with the food truck, to where of course you all helped out with it. We gave away free hot dogs, chips, and free Subway sandwiches from Subway. We partnered with and got done, and so we was blessed to do a bunch of things to bless the community off the food truck so that we can give back to the community. And then also during the pandemic, they came up with a subdivision food truck event to where the top soul food restaurants was invited out to do all the top subdivisions, townhomes in Buckhead and the surrounding areas, where the menus and the sales was instantly there, and all you had to do was come and just deliver the food through email.
That's crazy,
Wow.
crazy. So
Wow.
God is blessing the business.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Trinice, let's talk some Kingdom Coffee, Trinice.
yeah,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I know that's right.
Can you tell me a little bit about it, Brother James?
Yeah. I can tell you when I first started. 2012.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, actually, maybe even a little more sooner than that. But anyway, it allowed me to. I started making coffee when I was driving for Cobb County school buses.
Yeah.
And I would make it for all the bus drivers. They liked it so much, they kept encouraging, "Oh, you should go out. You should go out and start your own coffee business." So I sat around and milled it over for a little while and decided that, I was going to step out on faith and give it a try. So in 2013, I believe it was, is when I really started putting the coffee together and going to vending events, and was blessed and, got the first contract to do vending events for specifically for car shows in the Cobb County, Douglasville area, and have moved forward with the pecans in 2014, and have got the recipe down packed and perfected and everything. So it's been a real blessing. This past year it's really grown, in this last year during the course of this pandemic. But God is incredible. He's, I've been growing and got the labels and everything. So I just want to go ahead and bless you with a quick bag
Amen.
of the pecans and everything.
It tastes
Um,
amazing.
Oh yeah,
Amazing.
and everything. There you go. And I just want to bless you all with some of the pecans. 'Cause they're made fresh to order and everything. So when you go to www.kingdomcoffee.biz, you will be able to order these delicious pecans. And we got the half-pound size, and also have the full-pound size, and then I ship across country as well. So if you really want to share with your family and your friends, this is what the package would be looking like when you. It's vacuum packed and sealed and shipped across the country from Seattle and California and Oregon through the Southwest, Southeast, and even up into the northern regions as far as New York and Connecticut at this time. So I'm looking to maybe get some pecans shipped overseas. I'm trying to think real big. So I'm looking forward to the next wave and I do this all year round. So it's not just a holiday thing. So please know and understand, if you got a taste for a fruit cocktail, these glazed pecans will be great for a topping. Ice cream, they're great for that as well. And if you like sweet potato souffle or pecan pie, this is what you need. And also as well, I got coffee, and it's my own blend. And I tell you what, it's delicious. And I tell you what, you just got to come taste the anointing for yourself.
Amen.
Amen. And that's pretty cool. You know, the one thing I love about your business is the fact that I know your journey. I've been there. You know, I've known you for a while. I remember way back in the day. And now you got your own coffee blend. Now you got your own pecan blend. Now you're shipping everywhere. Yeah. Every single time I see Brother James, I'm like, where you heading? You got to go to the postal service, right? And that's a blessing. But one of the things too we want to talk about, we want to be real about too. COVID has impacted the Black business, right? We can all say that from a personal standpoint. COVID has impacted the Black business. Yes. And we kind of want to talk about that too. So for you, Pastor Ramon, what is some of the challenges like? You know, one of the big things, the reason how Newbie Corp got founded through James and I was that we looked at what was going on in the community. We looked at how COVID was impacting our community, but we also looked at how banks were not willing to help our community, how they were giving loans to businesses that were not ours. And there were banks that we bank at. Yeah. Come on, I know that you guys had a similar story to that. Yeah. Can you kind of explain that to us?
Well, yeah, that it's really sad. The things that we have to go through and opposite end to get loans or the help that we need. We put thousands and thousands of dollars there throughout the year, especially from our restaurant and the things that you have to go through. And then you're hearing about these other companies that don't need the money getting millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars, yeah.
And then you hear them want to struggle with you, probably barely to give you $20,000. Exactly. And so, it's really sad. But, the greatest part is with Black business, we are made to persevere and endure.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference maker, because if we wasn't, most Black business would be closed down now.
Right.
And some didn't make it, unfortunately. But I really pray for people to really look at that, and I do my best to get the right bank. It's good to look at Black business banks and all, if you can find one, to try to put your money that will help you back in return. Because it's really sad that the bank can take your money and invest it overnight and do what they're doing with your money while it's there. And then as soon as you need them to give you something back, it ain't like they're giving it to you for free.
Yeah.
But they even loan it to us to help us out to stay in business, to pay our employees so we can continue to generate income and to stay alive. And it's we've been with Bank America now for, probably at least 8 years in our restaurant. And of course we switched up a little bit here to BB&T in the last couple of years because of that. Not be willing to help the businesses that are putting thousands of dollars into their establishment. Right. And so, you're exactly right. It's a tough thing, and some people didn't make it and some did. We just thank God for those that had the money available and that was honest and say, I didn't need this $10 million. I mean, I'm pretty sure the LA Lakers don't need millions of dollars when guys are being paid $35 million a year. So
I think I even read a thing about your quarterback, Tom Brady. He has a business that actually got PPP money, and it was over $1 million. Yeah. And it's just interesting too, because I know from a standpoint of having a Black business, having a nonprofit, nonprofits qualify for the money too. in the process we had to go through. Like the banks that we thought would have helped us out were not the banks who helped us out, and we ended up having to go to companies that we've never even heard of. And I just think that's very interesting. And I was reading an article last night, Trinice, it was interesting, and they said only 23% of the people who got minority businesses were able to get access to the PPP loan, right? But over 38% of those businesses was able to get access to EIDL. So they were able to give us a loan with EIDL, but yet 23% of us couldn't get something that was going to be written off as a grant. And even now, man, it's still trying a fight to even get it. And that's just important that we understand too that the Black community puts most of the money into the economy. I'm telling you. And that's important that we understand that. Like I tell somebody all the time, there's a little small town right outside of Tallahassee, and it's called Quincy. And in the middle of the town is a huge Walmart, right? Huge Walmart. And one day I'm like, why is this Walmart here? And I realized that because of the fact that they had a huge African-American population.
Absolutely.
And African-Americans shop like
The
Trinice
Black dollar.
You shop.
I shop.
You shop.
Thousands.
Thousands of dollars, right?
Yeah.
And that's just important. James, what was your experience like, man?
Experience, particularly with COVID this year, was a little different because I was able to grow the business, to grow Kingdom Coffee during the pandemic, which was really quite a blessing for me. Where before, when I was just working and trying to grow the business, there was some struggles, and I just thank God because the pandemic not only sat me down, but it allowed me to not only get in my word, but also be able to get into my business and then apply the word to the business to help it grow. So it's been a real blessing in that way. And not only for myself, but I've talked to other business owners who have been able to start their businesses or grow their businesses during the pandemic of last year. And now they're still growing. They're still young in business, but they're growing more so, and know how and have learned how to make things work for themselves even during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
But I
And
think
social distancing has been really, really huge for online businesses, e-commerce. So it's really has saved minority businesses in general. Because of that, because it's e-commerce.
Yeah.
But I think that's the big thing. I think that a lot of businesses have had to recreate themselves, and luckily you were in an area where you could recreate yourself. But there was a lot of Black businesses that shut down because they could not recreate themselves.
Right.
They could not convert over to e-commerce. And even bringing Trinice into the conversation a little bit, even though you don't per se own your own business, you work with Black Push, you work with Newbie Corp every day. Talk to us about some of the things that you guys have to do, because you guys do things totally different than what we do on our side.
Yeah.
Like how you guys have had to recreate how we do business now.
Definitely. It's actually really interesting that we're speaking about this because with Newbie Corp, there is a lot of Black businesses who don't even know how to create a website or, different things available. And with Newbie Corp, we're able to help with web design, help with brochures, help with the PR, help with, we do shout outs now where we shout out like specific Black businesses weekly. So that actually gives the exposure to these businesses. And we don't just create the website for them. We help them walk through different steps. We help them understand certain wording that might be more appealing to a certain customer base, colors, what have you. So we start at the fundamentals and we help build up. And then with Newbie Corp, we have a network of a plethora of different businesses that we allow to connect. So when we intermingle these Black businesses, we grow together. We build better by building together. That's at our core. That's what we do with Newbie Corp. So, we just want to help. Just want to help.
Yeah, and I think that, like I said, I think that businesses had to become creative in how they do things. Even from a restaurant perspective, a lot of restaurants survive because of Uber Eats, because of DoorDash, because of Postmates. You want to talk about that, Pastor Ramon? Because you probably have more experience with that.
Yeah,
than some
I
other
tell you,
people.
it probably really did keep a whole lot of businesses open. The funny part with the creativity you're talking about that really blessed us and helped us, we started delivering from within the house.
Yeah.
And I even became one of the delivery guys. And also with that, during the pandemic, I think one big thing that helped us from our restaurant perspective is that we stayed, when things was down, we found a way to give,
Right.
to make that difference. So what I did, that put us in a position to say, okay, we're not going to just be selfish now and say, okay, we're going to worry about getting hours. We need to get hours. We're going to figure out a way to make a difference here. So what we started doing, we kept people recognizing that the restaurant was making a difference and making sure people had food, serving food.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what, as you know, all know, we did that pretty much the whole pandemic. I was shopping grocery stores, dropping off food to people's doorsteps, picking up people medicine or whatever people needed. I was even paying people light bills in different states.
Yeah.
I mean, so we was just getting creative. We even paid some of our workers. They wasn't working, but we called them and met them some days up there. We gave them a check, you know, and they was like, what's this for? I didn't work. But what we did, we got creative,
Right.
you know, because we was blessed to still be above water. So we wanted to take those seeds of that blessing and give them to help people, whether they asked or not.
Yeah.
And so now we look at the position we in. Of course, you guys come to, y'all know,
Yes. Yeah.
it's a blessing still. Yesterday, we did 2 Fridays business on just yesterday. When
Crazy, on a
lot of
Thursday.
Exactly.
On a Friday. It was Friday. Yeah, it's
which
Friday.
is Friday still a little unusual right now
Right.
because people don't have the money. But we did 2 Fridays business yesterday. You know, so that goes to show. And you guys know Sundays ain't changed a bit.
Right.
You know, but that just goes to show that, like you said, we got recreative.
Yeah.
You know, we kept showing the people the good that we can do and giving and making a difference so that we can let them know. And people started driving near and far. So, you know what? We're going to support y'all because
Absolutely.
you gave to make a difference. And that's what it's about.
And you know, one of the things that, you know, I think that the black business forgets is the most important advertisement we'll ever have is word of mouth.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Word of mouth. And one of the things that we've been teaching in Newbie Corp, and one of the things I learned a long time ago, man, when I started off in the restaurant industry, I started off at a restaurant called Sweet Tomatoes, and we ran no ads. We were not on TV. We were doing $50,000 to $60,000, $70,000 a week. And why? It's because of the fact that people knew that they can come in and get a good product, right? And I think that's just word of business, word of mouth is the most important thing, and that's recreating ourselves. You know, it's funny too because there's a young lady, and even though she's not here, I'm going to give her a shout out. The young lady who came and did a Surf Safe class with us recently. I think her restaurant is called Soul Vegan down in Atlanta.
Yes.
And she told me like literally like her whole business has been flourishing just through like Uber Eats and just converting over. And I think that's so awesome that we're able to do that. But once again, too, we want to make sure that we talk about this. We talk about the struggles that black businesses have. You know what I'm saying? The struggles we have in the banking world, the struggles we have out here in COVID. The fact, the reality that we have people who are afraid to just come out in the black community. And that's just so important. And I also think that, too, from a standpoint, because most of us here are spiritual. You're a pastor. You pastor your own church. I know you're a deacon at the church you attend. I'm recently become an associate pastor at the church I work with. And he can pray for 15 minutes. If you need to. He'll have you up for 15 to 20 minutes after the services.
It's a power.
It's a power. But but in all jokes aside, I think that it's important that as black businesses that we kind of work together. We build better together.
Yes,
We understand the value of our dollar, right? And I think that's important. And I love the fact that I love James's story. I love Pastor Ramon's story. And that's the reason why I wanted you guys here for the first segment, for the first time we do this, is because your story is different. Your stories talk about, hey, you know, COVID was rough for us, but we still built in it. And how did we build? We sold, right?
That's right.
We sold and then we reaped, right? Because I was with you on some of those times when we were out there in the community passing out food to things. And once again, goes back to word of mouth.
That's right.
Having that food truck out there saying, hey, we don't want. I remember somebody coming up to the food truck one day, and it was crazy, Trinice, because they asked us, they was like, well, how much is the sandwich? And it was like, the sandwich is free. Like, here it goes, right?
Yeah.
And they were literally surprised that we were doing that and we were involved.
Yeah.
And that was at the height of COVID when no one knew what was going on. No one knew what was going on.
Yeah.
It was at the height of COVID. We were still out there doing it. And we have a service to our community. And so talk to us about like service to the community. Like, what is it that some of the things that your businesses are doing to give back to the community? Let's start with Kingdom Coffee. I know you just had your little raffle that I didn't win. I'm still kind of salty I didn't win it. You know?
Actually, we did have a raffle. It was over the holiday season for Christmas. Let me go ahead and say, Mr. P. Adams, your order has been shipped and on its way. Congratulations. He actually won a full pound and a half pound of glazed pecans. 12-ounce bag of coffee and 2 of the coffee mugs. And I did not bring the coffee mugs, but they're on the website if you really would like to have one, if you like to collect them. But one of the things that I've learned, and I will go ahead and say this, that this is my bishop. This is my pastor. So, Pastor Ramon. So, but one of the things I learned under him is that we have to have a spirit of giving. And watching him do what he does with his business has prompted me to do what I do for mine, which is have the giveaways, and just give samples and just give. And that's one of the things I've been making sure that I do is just I do a lot of giving now today, and my giving has increased in the last year, within the last year, because of the example that I had. And so I'm gonna encourage you that if you have a business and you're capable of being able to give of your time or give of your product, to let God bless you through your giving. So that's really all I can tell you, as far as that. But that's how it's worked for me, and it's been a blessing for me to be able to do that, to be able to just ask people if they've ever had the glazed pecans before, and then just give them a bag. I do it all the time, and and I really find a lot of joy in being able to give, and just being able to hear the reports of how much they enjoy the pecans.
Pastor Mo.
Well, y'all know I love to give. That's one thing me and First Lady Bill thrive on. We love to give. That's our life. That's our marriage. Sometimes I got to back up sometimes, though, because I love to give that much. Even during this pandemic, of course, y'all know we took a family under our wing. This husband and wife. This husband had a postpartum depression situation. He went for a simple diagnosis to get checked out and wound up having major illness, and it went south. And one of the nurses in the hospital that he went to wound up pulling his arm and yanking it and paralyzed him.
Oh, wow.
And the instant, 1 week turned his whole family life around. And so he couldn't work, had no income. Wife had to take care of 2 kids, go to work and all. So God led me to donate to that family, as he knows. We took upon them. We blessed them with the whole Thanksgiving meal.
I remember seeing that on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. And then also we blessed them. We paid for the whole Christmas. And also we even blessed them with a financial donation. And even during this, I even wrote my mail lady a check or two. Y'all just pray for me. I love to give. I think it's the major difference in this world today. And especially with us as business owners. When people have been such a blessing to us, we have to get creative. And of course, y'all know we just did the free breakfast for the post office, sheriff's office, Cobb County Police Department, Cobb County school bus drivers, teachers, and God knows who else. And when we delivered that meals, I think you went with me. We took the meals over to the post office, up to 50 of them.
Yeah, our host over here saying, like, what about CCT?
I got you.
Blame him. Amen. So, and when we took that over, when I called the post office that morning, it was like you can hear the voice of that lady, like, what? They was at the restaurant in 5 minutes. Okay? She had the van pulled at the front door of the United States Post Office van. We loaded up 30 to 50 of them. And we drove over another 30 to 50 of them.
Yeah.
And when we got over there and served them to them, we served them orange juice, apple juice, and everything. They looked at us like, and so, of course, some customers, they remember them. Oh, this is my restaurant right here. Oh, I know Pastor. I am. Okay, well, we want to serve the people. You mean you know us. You don't have enough to eat, probably, so get on that now, But it's a blessing, because it's not about always how much you have. It's the thought that you thought the action to give.
Right, right.
And I think that's what people forget, Quit looking at what you need sometimes and look at you have an opportunity to meet someone else. Or even encourage you, because let's be real about it. During this pandemic, being a black owner, it can be depression. It can be depression if you just think about you.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you learn to think about other people, you take the anxiety, depression off of you, and you see the joy of somebody that has deeper situations than you do.
Absolutely.
And you say, wow, I thought I had a problem because I wasn't making much money, but they ain't got no money.
Right.
So it's a blessing, And so y'all know that's all we look for. We just fed the homeless last Saturday and Saturday before. And then I'm gonna tell you the last part of the story. When you think about giving, God got people that keep you on their mind to give. Of course, you guys know Waffle House donates all the bacon. They donate all the sausage for every breakfast feed and every third Saturday. Then I had a customer come that works for a major blanket company here in Georgia and say, "Hey, can I see you outside?" Now, I never met the guy before. He pulls me outside and says, "Hey, I want to bless you with a blanket." And I looked at him. I said, "Well, I don't need a blanket. I know people that do. I got homeless on the street. I've been praying to get them some blankets out there, but I'm trying to find a company to buy about 200 for." He said, "No, no longer do you have to find a company." He said, "Let me pull my van up." And pulled the van out. His company threw away 1,000 brand new blankets.
Wow.
He took them all out and threw me 2 bags out immediately, 100 per bag. He said, "Okay, and meet me at the house. I'm gonna text you my address to get brand new socks for him, ties or whatever for interview." So once again, God always keeps us on his mind.
Yeah.
When we keeps his people on our mind.
Absolutely.
And so, even one of our members hadn't had income in 10 months. Like you just said, he been putting money in these banks all the time, but come to where he needs a simple PUA and he works a job, self-employed, but then they denied it.
Wow.
But then you got people that got millions, they said, "No, getting
And they getting
approved
it. Yeah.
for 30 million.
Yeah.
So, so once again, that is the true realness of what we have to go through as black businesses. And as black business, I have to understand, like what you all said, we have to learn how to take the little bit we have, and I always think of the 2 fish, 5 loaves with Jesus, and just think about other people first
Right.
before we think about ourselves, because God gonna send it back to us.
Absolutely.
He sends it back to us. So that's the blessing of giving during this pandemic that we've experienced. And brother, please forget me. I owe you one. I didn't forget about CCT. I apologize. I try to remember everybody. I get on my leader sometimes. I say, "Listen, now I need y'all to help me think of some of these people." Now I can't thank everybody, but it's good to add more people. Why? Because we want them to know these people are sacrificing their lives.
Right.
And me giving a simple meal ain't nothing.
Right. And that's across the board, man. We have to also remember too that not only when we say people sacrifice their lives during this time, it's not only just police officers, it's not only just firemen, it's not only just people who work at EMS, it's CCT. It's the people who are delivering our mail.
Walmart.
It's the people working in the restaurants.
Come on,
It's
man.
Walmart. It's Kroger's.
absolutely.
It's Publix.
That's right.
They're all
These
essential.
places didn't close.
Sure did.
And I think back because I've been in the restaurant industry for over 14 years, and we had employees, and one of the hardest decisions we had to make, literally, was to keep stores open, because we had to realize that when we kept a store open, every single person that we allowed in there who did not want to wear a mask or chose not to want to believe in what was going on, we put our employees at risk every day, and that's something that we had to think about every single second of the day.
No, CBT they only require passengers to wear a mask.
Wow.
And that's crazy. See, and our host just told us that CCT don't even require passengers to wear masks. So maybe when, Lisa Cupid, if you hear this, we need to tighten up on that, because once again, these people are risking their lives to get people to work,
Right.
and to work, and they shouldn't have to put their life at risk at the same time. So, one of the things that it's just amazing to me how, from a personal perspective, as we kind of identified today, it wasn't meant to be a church session, but God is awesome, right?
Yes,
And God is true to his word. And that's something that we believe in Newbie Corp at Black Push. We believe that God is the center of everything that we do.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that's really amazing is that we see that even in the midst of this pandemic, when people won't do right, God, the Bible says he'll make your enemies your footstools, right?
That's right.
Those same people will have to at some point bow down and come down to you. But like you guys said, it's the word of mouth. It's the way we reflect ourselves into our community. You get what I'm saying? And from a black business standpoint, for all those black businesses that are still out there and you're still surviving, we have to work together. We have to support our community. We have to support each other. We have to not look at each other as competition.
That's right.
And we have to kind of support each other, because at the end of the day, if we don't do it, man,
the same team.
nobody will. In fact, hey, I'm thinking us in this room, we may need to try to put our own black bank together.
I'm
You
trying
feel
to
me?
tell you.
Because at the end of the day, if we don't support our own community, nobody else
Nobody
will.
else will.
Right.
And that's what Newbie Corp is all about. It's one of the things I hate to. I know we got like 6 more minutes, but one of the things that really bothers me is when we have people out here who think, I won't hire a black mechanic, or I won't hire a black doctor because they don't know what they're doing. Man, nah, forget that. If they set up there and they got them degrees and they work their behind off, we should be able to support them just as much as we support everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So again, we just want to thank everybody for who watched the podcast today, and we're gonna continue to broadcast this live all day today on all our pages. We even gonna post it through Reuniting Christ if they don't mind doing a live watches this today, because we had a good conversation today.
Yeah.
And remember that we're here every Saturday from 3 to 4. 3 to 4, 4:10, 4:15. But come on board with us. And don't forget, y'all, most importantly, if you guys out there watching, if you're watching through our Facebook channel, even if you're watching this later, go to YouTube, go find DISCO100, subscribe to DISCO100 Radio. Subscribe, because it's not only us that's doing our podcast here. There's a whole bunch of different podcasts, a whole bunch of different people talking about different things. So be a part of that. And we want to make sure that we continue to support our Black community. This is what we've been talking about all day. And we're going to get CCT right, man. We're going to get them some pecans or something before we get up out of here.
You gotta give them something.
That's right.
But we do want to give a shout out to DISCO100 today for
Yes,
everything
thank
that they're
you.
doing and for everything that they're trying to do in the community.
Amen.
And how they're supporting the Black community.
Absolutely.
By giving us the opportunity to even have this podcast.
Yes.
And for those who out there who are interested in getting a podcast, reach out to him. He still got some time spots available. Reach out to him. We want to support his business as well. We want to thank everybody who came on today. We want to thank Colonel Atkins, who came out from the Cobb County Sheriff's Department. We want to thank Ricky Mims, Ricky Brown, who came across and he expressed his business to us. Amen. We want to once again thank not Pastor, but Bishop Ramon Belton.
Amen. Yes, sir.
Not only does he drive for Cobb, he drives for Cobb County as well. But he's the pastor, like I said, of Reuniting Christ Family Worship Center. Find them on Facebook, follow them. You will be blessed. They have Sunday school every Sunday on Facebook, and they have services right after that.
Fantastic.
Even though he be sitting in his living room, I be seeing him. I be seeing him from the living room spot. But you know what? But once again, he just spoke to the type of character of the person that he is. And I know him personally because not only is he your bishop, he used to be my bishop. Amen. And I was there at his bishop ceremony. So we just and a part of who I am, a big part of who I am is because of who they are and the role they played in my life. And I wouldn't be in the position I'm in if I had not learned things from them and things from you and things from still learning some things from you. I don't know about your niece. And I want to thank Kingdom Coffee, man, for everything that you guys do, for the partnership you have at Newbie Corp, for the partnerships that you have at Black Push, and for everything that you're doing. And we're going to pray that y'all businesses not only just stop here, but go higher.
That's right.
And for everybody who's watching today, we'll be back next week. And next week, we plan to talk about Black businesses, but we want to talk about the importance of local banking. So we're going to have people on from different banks, from different credit unions, talking about what their bank can do for you. Because if you have a business, there's no reason why, if you're a small business, no reason why we should be paying money to banks who don't support us. There's a lot of banks out here who will give you a free bank account. They will give you a free bank account for your small business. And as we continue to go through this, we want to talk about the type of different businesses out there, the importance of paying taxes, the importance of doing all the right things, the importance of marketing your business, the importance of word of mouth. So don't think that it stops here today.
That's
right? And we may have Bishop Ramon back because I'm telling you, Willie B's Sisters is the bomb over in Mapleton.
Yes.
If you have not been there, give them,
check it out.
Pastor Ramon,
Good.
before we go off,
Willie B's.
give them the address, everything they need to know about Willie B's.
Willie B's Sisters, Southern Cuisine. You can follow us on Facebook or Instagram. 6041 Mapleton Parkway, Suite 142. We're over in Mapleton, Georgia. All you got to do is follow the WB. You see the green and yellow emblem, or you can follow the food truck. It's out on the corner. Amen. So all you got to do is look us up, follow us on Facebook. We're always on there, or either Instagram. And I tell you won't regret it. Just tell them Bishop Belton told you to come. Matter of fact, I probably will be there. Probably the first face you'll see. And come on over. You probably catch Sean Smith and Deacon and them over there using. We used over there hanging out on Sundays and Sundays. That's, of course, we get stuck in there talking for a good hour about any and everything. That's just what we do. Fellowship never stops between us. And I want to encourage you on another thing. If you're able to donate as well, you need to go to Black Push as well. I think this is a great thing that Sean Smith and Trinice them are doing with Newbie Corp, which I'm very inspired by. They are making sure they're being the bridge to make sure you guys get information that you need to get and to know about things that you need to get dealing with the community, the state of Georgia, and etc. And let me help you understand. When you give, it's only going to come back to you with great information and wisdom you're going to get in return. So I'm going to encourage you to go to blackpush.org and hit the donate button. And whatever God put in your spirit, if he tell you to give $1 million, give the $1 million. I don't know what God want to put upon your heart. But you know, God is in control, and if He tell you to do something, you be obedient, and I promise it's gonna come right back to you 100-fold.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Amen. James, you want to leave him with some information about Kingdom Coffee today?
Yeah, absolutely. www.kingdomcoffee.biz is where you will be able to find these wonderful, absolutely delicious glazed pecans. And if you want some really nice, smooth coffee,
Whoa.
that's where you need
Love
to.
that
That's
coffee.
where you need to go to find it, and the prices are reasonable. Come on and have a cup of coffee and taste the anointing.
And just for the record, just so you guys know, they are really good.
They are absolutely
Made fresh to
amazing.
order.
Yep.
Made fresh to order. Once again, we want to thank everybody for who watched the podcast today. Even if you watched it later, please go to www, as Pastor Ramon said, www.blackpush.org. Or you can find us on Facebook right now. We have a donate button where we're trying to bridge the community in Cobb County, Fulton County, DeKalb County, Gwinnett County, and Paulding County. We've been working diligently. And for Newbie Corp, we just want to also to just take this last second to explain what Newbie Corp is. We're an organization about bringing minority businesses together, helping you. If you want to establish your own business, if you have a business, if you need help, Newbie Corp is the organization you need to be a part of. Become a member. For only $200, you can go to www.newbiecorp.org, and we give you help with everything from marketing your business to learning how to do taxes, to doing taxes for you, for filing paperwork for you. All that becomes free if you become a member. So remember that we're here to support you. And as we like to say, between Black Push and Newbie Corp, we are building better together. So you guys have a blessed day and continue to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the
tuning in.
opportunity. And don't
Great
forget,
day.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, DISCO100 Radio.
Right.